We're trying to do this multiple. Let's do multi-stream, read only. Now, how do we dock this thing? What did I just do? Hold up. We're going to figure this out. So anyway, we are streaming across the platforms. View your live stream from the thing. Edit your stream title. Let's figure out how to get this thing seen. I might just have to keep it to the left. What am I doing? Anyway, welcome. So we're going to be flipping your loops today. And let me figure out how this works. Make sure we're good on YouTube. We're good on Twitch. It says Facebook and YouTube. It should be live. We not live? It says we're live here. What is going on? Hold up. Edit your stream. Hold up. Oh, it's just not showing me the right screen. Okay, that's odd. Anyway, what's up, JW Turbo? Paris is here. Rose is here. Max Sozo. What's up? So forgive me. I'm just trying to figure out how to. Oh, there we go. The chat's a little slow. Okay. It just doesn't show on this screen, which is the main screen that I need to know what's going on with. So that's a little odd. But anyway, if you want to send in your loops, send them to loops4busy@gmail.com. We're flipping your loops. This is a new series I've created. Had this a while ago, but I'm going to focus on it this time around. And I'm a newbie at this Streamlabs stuff, so I'm just trying to figure out how to get this chat to be on the left instead of the right, because that's super awkward. Anyway, we could do it this way. Does anybody know? Does anybody know how to get this chat to the right? Looks like a layout editor. All right. I feel like if I click this button, it's going to screw up everything. Where's the chat? Feed on the left. So, no. Whatever, we're doing too much. I clearly don't watch tutorials. I just do stuff and figure it out. It's my inner Aries. I don't have time to be figuring crap out. Reading books. Just do it. All right, so anyway, the chat is going to chill right there. Okay, we are going to figure this out. We're going to do something like this. And squeeze that chat to the right. Let's do something like that. It's just awkward for me because I'm so used to the chat on the left. So this is extra awkward. So my head should be, if I'm doing this right, my head should be right there. Okay. All right, so this might be a better format anyway because nothing really happens on the right side of FL anyway. So welcome. This is BusyWorks Beats, and I'm here to show you stuff. I'm here to flip your loops. Somebody said flip the monitor. Oh, man. So, yeah, I'm streaming. Apparently, I'm streaming on Facebook. Let me even check if I'm streaming on Facebook. So, again, this is our first not first. I've been streaming. What does this say? Hold on. Okay, we got 7 folks on Facebook. Thank you for hopping in. And I'm pretty sure if you said something in the chat, it should pop up on my screen. So thank you for everybody on Facebook. So now I can stream to the Facebook folks. I feel like I've been leaving you guys out of the mix for a good 3 years, 4 years, however long it was since I lived back in my old address. I used to stream to Facebook, but then the live streaming was different back in the day. So they made it a lot easier nowadays. And Twitch, I didn't check the Twitch stream, so give me 1 second. So this might be a cool format. So this way people can stay on whatever platform they like and enjoy the knowledge. Okay, cool. We got Twitch folks. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let me just make sure the Twitch feed is good and then we'll get it rocking. How do I go to my own page? My channel. Make sure the volume's good. All right. So let me just make sure. All right, cool. All right, wow, streaming's so much easier. 3 years ago, it was a headache. It was a nightmare. So they made it much easier. All right, so we're gonna be flipping your loops. I'm gonna start with Nicole Nix today. She has some loops in a folder. So I just wanna say my hellos real quick. Max Sozo, what's up? I'm gonna figure out a way to put this chat over top the screen. Actually, It's an element, I think. Hold up, y'all. I might learn something today. Wait. Stream chat box. But the thing is, I can't see it. So that's the only problem. So the chat box is cool, but like I can't see it. Clean, whatever. I'm just gonna click on default. Where did it go? Yeah, this is, I'll figure that out later. I'll test that later. Oh, there's the chat box. But the problem is I can't see it. So what's the point if I can't read it? Hold up, let's try this. Yeah, I don't see anything. Okay, well anyway, at least I know the chat box is there. All right, let's get it rocking. So again, I'm flipping your loops and we're gonna make some crazy songs. So we're gonna start with Nicole Nix. You can send your loops to, I don't even know how to enter the chat. I can't send you guys a chat. Well, it's loopsforbusy@gmail.com. So it's loopsfor busy@gmail.com. We flipped DJ Wraith's loops. Last time we flipped Young K's loops, which are pretty dope. I'll play those songs just to show you what we usually come up with. So I'm getting in making music mode. I'm just in that mode. So here's the one with Young K.
Young K on the track. Busy.
Shout out to everybody who hopped in. King Lemuel's here. Abdallah from Facebook, what's up? Maybe there's a way I can see the chat. Maybe there's a Streamlabs app. I didn't know you can control Streamlabs from your phone. I wouldn't have bought the deck if that was the case. So this is a track we made with Young K. That was a cool track. Here's the track we made with DJ Wraith's piano. And I don't know if I have the original piano just to show you where it came from. I moved a lot of files around, so stuff's all over the place. I'm reorganizing my computer. So here's the one with DJ Wraith. What's up, Ekis, what's up? Yeah, the track ran off, Hazard. Shout out to everybody on YouTube, I appreciate you. About to get this rocking. I'm gonna be flipping your loops. So all these phonies on all these other platforms, we're gonna wipe them clean because you guys are gonna get some good content today. I know you're tired of the BS content everywhere. TikTok, Twitch, you're tired of it. I already know you're tired of it. So let's get to the real value. And what was I gonna do? Oh, check the email. So let's start with Nicole Nix first and then we'll go into the email. So I'll give you guys time. So it's loops for busy if the chat, if y'all can help me out. Let me see. Again, forgive me. I'm trying to learn all this stuff in one day. So Stream Deck, is there Streamlabs? Hold up. It didn't download, did it? Streamlabs. Streamlabs, live stream get. I thought I got it. Okay, let's do this again. You ever smile too hard and your Face ID doesn't recognize you? Problems, first world problems. Okay, so they got a Stream Deck. I don't think that's going to be helping me right now. I'll do this a different day. I'm doing too much. I'll test that crap a different day. All right, let's just get to it. So first is Nicole Nix. And I'm going to turn on my speakers. So we're going to be A/B-ing the Yamahas and the Eve Audio SC3070s. So I like the Eve Audios because they're super accurate. The Yamahas just give me a better vision of the high mids. They're a little more exaggerated in the high mids. All right, dope. We got a lot of folks in here, so let's get it rocking. So again, Nicole Nix is dope. You can go to NicoleNix.com for vocal tags. I'm gonna turn off my mic so we don't get feedback. I'll just tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to give it a little more groove by adding an envelope shaper to it. And I'm probably going to use a dynamic EQ to tame some of the frequencies, just to shape the tone that I want. And then we'll get it rocking. So what I'm going to do now is basically the loop is very musical. It doesn't have any drums. So we have to add like the whooshiness to it. The groove, it's called. So that's a really simple way. You could just throw gross beat over it. And instead of using it at 100% level with your mix level, you can do like half and half. So it doesn't take over the entire sound. What's up? King Drake is here. Gabriel's here. What's up? Hermes. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, Hermes. Let's try and use Hermes today. I need to show off Hermes more because without giving you guys a whole like life story, basically I went through a lot of stuff in the last, 6 months, 9 months. And it threw me way off as far as like my brain. So, you got to take care of your brain, folks. Take care of your brain. Okay. Anyway, what's up? Alan Nunn. Shout out to everybody on the YouTube chat. So anyway, that's the trick. You add gross beat and then you don't put it at 100% mix level. You pull it down a little bit. So it's not a 100%. So it goes weep, weep, but it doesn't take over the entire sound. And that's how you can add a little movement to something that's more linear. Oh man, I can't read. I can read, excuse me. All in one, my bad. I was Alan Nunn, all in one. Shout out to you. So let me turn this off for a second. So I'm guiding you through this just so you can understand what the heck I'm doing. So if you get loops from other folks, this is a good practice. I learned this from Amon Jackson. He mixes for like future, like top hip hop people. So he has an extensive credits list. Anyway, what he does is he taught us to do a flat frequency sweep to find the spots where we want to edit out stuff. Cause I don't have Soothe yet. I need to buy Soothe. So I'm just going to sweep all the frequencies and just listen to where I wanted to change. What's up, Board Gamer? One of the founding fathers on Twitch. Hey. It's about 170, little spot there. So let's add a node, type in 170, and we're going to put this on dynamic mode. So it treats it almost like a compressor. We're going to take 4 dB out and then make sure the Q is somewhere around 2, just so it's more pointy. Oh yeah, 17Z says he sent some loops over. So 430 has something right there. So 430, we're gonna take it out 4 dB, and then dynamic. So it treats it like a compressor, basically. 700, it's a little spot right here. All right, so this way I'm showing you how to basically get the results of like analog hardware without buying a bunch of analog hardware. Something at about 1300, and the work you put in here will save you a lot of time mixing, like a lot of time mixing, so that you won't have to do a bunch of stuff like leveling and all this. What's up, Abdallah? I can't read that, but it sounds like love in a different language, so I appreciate you. Then we got 1800, and then let's do one more frequency, and then we'll get to the main event. Because you got people sending you loops from all types of places. It's loopsforbusy@gmail.com. Just send your loops. And the rest is texture. Okay. So now we're just going to cut out the lows that we don't need. Now, you could put a high shelf. Let's do dynamic high shelf. Just a broad stroke to take care of those highs. Okay, so now we're taming it a lot more. Okay, so let's get into the beat making. So let's figure out what key we're in firstly. I gotta turn off my mic because it's gonna feedback. So I was just showing you guys that technique. Thanks, Cut Loose. I appreciate you because I don't know how to type into the multi-stream chat. So I do need your help on that. So thank you. Loops4busy@gmail.com. Thank you. So right here, I'm gonna do a like a little clap roll, if you want to call it a clap roll. Shout out from the Philippines, Lorenzo. What's up? Al Mufasa says, Mustafa, excuse me, says, can you remix? I don't know what that song is. Adnan. YouTube doesn't like remixes. That's one thing they don't like. Whole beat over. Wait, is it okay if I send a whole beat over? If it's sampleable, yeah. If it's too much, I don't know what to do with a whole beat, and I don't know how to remix a whole beat. I could, but it'll probably be too much. No, not critiques. We're doing loop submissions because I just want to. We're trying to. It's a long story. I don't have time for it, but we're creating a Splice competitor because I'm tired of Splice. I'm legitimately tired of Splice. So we're gonna create a monster to compete against the big dogs, and I need your help. So I'm calling all the troops. It's time to strap up, metaphorically speaking, and go to business war. All right. I'm going to narrate this a little bit. So if you're going for a Detroit, or I say Detroit because really Detroit took it from the West Coast, but if you're going for a Bay Area sound like that, wow, 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 type in TB, type in into Omnisphere. Is this going to work? It's tripping out. Hold on. Why is this not working? Let's load this again. Anyway, you want to search a TB303 sample. Let's make sure Omnisphere wants to work. It's probably not Omnisphere. It's the MacBook. I don't want to blame Omnisphere. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Type in TB-303. You're going to get that womp, womp, womp. So you want to look for like this one. Or the classic. I think this has a delay on it. Yeah, that has a sequencer on it. That's the one you're probably familiar with. Okay, you hear that all the time. So it's also like a Houston sound too. So we're all kind of taking from the same thing. You said SAR has a bass, just add distortion. Oh, dope. So yeah, this is what I use because I like it. But there's a bunch of them. Just type in TB-303. It's going to give you that sound that you're looking for. Very specific sound. I'm going to turn off my mic so I can crank it up. All right, so the secret to this sound, I had to learn this because I was listening to a lot of the actual genre this comes from, which is more of a funk genre. Shout out to everybody in the chat, the multiple chats. Appreciate y'all. I would go through the names, but I got to get used to this unorthodox chat. Oh, here's what I was going to say. The sound of this bass is, how can I describe this without, let me think for a second. So the sound of this bass, it's compressed above like 100 hertz. So that's what gives it that sound, because this is a very long bass. It goes meow, and it eats up a lot of the mix. So what you can do, usually I do this on the mix bus, but I'll show you in theory what I'm doing. So this is like one of the last steps I do when the beat's done. I'll compress the entire track. And what I'll do is I'll leave out the frequencies below, let's say 100 hertz, but I'll compress everything else. And so with this bass, it needs a lot of compression on the everything else, because this middle part eats up a lot of that space. So this bass, you compress it, and that's what gives you the tone, but it gives you room for everything else. That's how you get it to sit there, but like not get in the way. So that's a little trick. I'll leave that there until later. I'll probably forget to take it off anyway. Another thing about this West Coast sound, they love that stomp sound, and I have it in one of my kits. So if you go to BusyWorks Beats from the Ultimate Producer kit, it's under the kicks. It's called kicks stomp layer. So it's variations of this stomp layer, okay? And for this one, I'm just gonna EQ out the lows so it doesn't get crazy with the kicks. So we're still getting the gist of it, but it's, he says, KRK 8400s. I forgot KRK made headphones. So that way you get the, but you don't get the boominess of it. All right. right, so that's that. And what else do we need? I don't think we need hi-hats. I think the laser kind of takes that. Yeah, this is it. We just need maybe a kick, maybe if you want a kick. This doesn't really need a kick, but if you want a kick, you can add one. So I got this question earlier. They're like, how do you arrange a beat? So now that you have the beat elements there, how do you make it sound full? I have I'm using well, it's because I'm in a treated studio. I have the Yamaha HS8s, I think they're called. Yamaha HS8s. So that's one pair. And then I have another pair called the Eve Audio SC3070s. They're like $4,000. They're not cheap at all. I only got them because I have a treated room, and they were highly recommended. So I don't usually invest that much money in the speakers, but because this room's so treated, that's why I got these. And it gives me it gives you the pure image of what your sound sounds like. So it doesn't overhype stuff. It shows me that I have way too much bass a lot of the time. Okay, so we're pretty much done. So to arrange it, we're just gonna add like effects to the melody so it doesn't sound the same all the way through. So here's the cool part. Here's where you get to put on your sample hat. I'm going to do a lot of weird stuff to the melody to make it sound different. This is just my own sound. So I'll just let my brain be weird and you'll see the final result. All right, so I'm sending a duplicate of the melody over to this effects chain, and here's where we get to be a little more creative with our specific sound. I forgot one sound effect they love is a reverse crash. So I'm trying to remember whose pack that I grabbed that reverse crash from. Oh, it was Able Beats, I think. Able Beats effects. Hold on, it's in here somewhere. Okay. It's a pretty simple arrangement. The real trick is that bass compression that I showed you. That's the real key to the sound. Send this to the mixer. Hold on. Oh, I think I skipped it. See, it goes, then it goes into that little stomp sound. It's really all you need. I mean, the real bounce is that bass. But again, most people don't compress the mids, so the bass just takes over the entire track, and it doesn't create that bounciness. Thanks, Elevation.
Busy. Busy. Busy.
All right, so now I'm gonna give you guys some arrangement tips real quick. Shout out to Angel. And yeah, I'm gonna give you some arrangement tips real quick. So when it comes to mapping out a beat, let's say you start with a loop. Most people are like, oh, I have a loop and I can't change notes. But it's not really the loop, it's the arrangement. So a couple of things you could do. One, add transitions. This reverse crash does a lot to this. Okay. And then we have the reverse claps going. Okay, so that's another kind of reverse-esque sound, even though it's not technically reverse. We're doing a volume sweep that goes from low to high velocity per note. So it goes, it gets louder. 3-band EQs, my bad. So any specific questions, we'll do Q&A right after this track, and then we'll transition to the next track because you have very specific questions. Another thing you could do is take out stuff. So right here, I'm just going to take out, what is this? This zap sound. So let's go to snap to grid beat and let the bass play by itself. You could take out the claps. Let's see what it sounds like. Then it gets people ready for the next thing. I don't know if I like the kick for this track. I just don't think a kick really serves a purpose for this track. But maybe I'll feel different later on the next track. Awesome. I don't know what that means, but shout out to that kid. So you could, if you wanted to thicken up the bass, you could copy the rhythm of the bass, paste it into the kick, put everything in the middle C, and then you could run a side chain over the bass. So if you do, let's try real quick. It may or may not sound good because I think the bass, it's already doing what it needs to do. It's snappy enough. So anyway, what you would do is just copy the bass, paste it in your kick, go to your piano roll, take all your notes and just hit Control, left click on the note, and then move it up the middle C. Because you only want it to play the middle C note in this case. I pull these up note by note. So I'm hitting Control to highlight the whole row on the keyboard. Hit Shift up. So now they're all middle C. Now what you have to do is route the kick to the bass. So we're on track there, and then right click, go to sidechain to this track. The only plugin I found that can do this is a C6 from Waves, sidechain stereo. There's probably another plugin, but there's very few that have this like routing situated properly. So go to settings, let's go to processing, click on stereo aux input, right click, select your kick. So now every time the kick hits, it's an input into this sidechain compressor. Then we're going to figure out the pocket of the bass we wanted to cut out when the kick hits. So click here, go to external, and now when the kick hits, it will take out the bass so they won't clash. So watch. Oh wait, I didn't even put it in the playlist. So now when we add the kick, every time the kick hits, see a dip in the bass. So that's a smarter way to sidechain your 808s and your bass. But we're gonna put this on 0 milliseconds and only make the kick last about 30 milliseconds or 40 milliseconds. But that's too many kicks. Like, you don't need that many kicks. So I'm gonna test it out, see if it's a good blend, but we might not need it. So let me turn my mic off.
Busy. Busy.
Yeah, for me, the kick just changes the whole mood of the track. It just doesn't need that punchy, like stop and go feel to it. So a lot of people overly, what's the word? Put too much importance on the kick. Sometimes kicks can make your track feel too like up and down, like boom, boom, boom. It's just too much going on. So I don't really like the kick in this case. I don't think it has a place. So I'm just gonna leave the bass. Bars, I just rap by accident. So here's a little trick. Here's what they don't tell you, and I actually heard this from the guy who mixed Young Thug's what is it? Wait, don't give me the making up stuff. Slime Language? Yeah, Slime Language 2. His name is Baines. He was mixing the project, and he said like he's running his stuff through a summing mixer, and he's running his stuff through an analog chain. So never think that people just go out of FL or go out of Pro Tools and that's it. They go through analog stuff too. So I'm going through an analog chain, and it's going to give dimension to the track. And that's what's going to give it that final polish.
Busy. Busy.
Okay, now with the headphones on, I could hear where the kick would have its spot. Okay, now that makes sense in the headphones, but over the speakers with the subs, the bass is taking up a lot of space. So I don't really hear a need for a kick, but over headphones, it does need a kick. So here's what I'll do. So this kick mirrors the bass. Again, we're gonna spread it out because it's too many kicks in a row. So my trick is just delete the in-between stuff. So that's a lot of movement. Keep in mind, the rapper has to rap over this. Also, I forgot to take off the compressor here. See how that bass is just too all over the place? It's almost too much to manage. We have two compressors here, so it's doing a lot. Let's see what it might not need the side chain. So the kick is just matching up with the bass. We're not going too crazy with the patterns. Whenever you want like a more relaxed vibe, take out some kicks. I don't really hear hi-hats on this one. Be too much. See how those gaps are really important? So okay, so over the headphones, yeah, the kicks make sense. But over the speakers, they didn't fit. Okay, so now I'm just running it through some analog stuff to give it a bigger sound.
Busy. busy.
So I was purposely driving it through those my drivers, just, and it had that bzz, bzz, bzz sound to it. I thought that was a cool sound. It was clipping, intentionally clipping. So I like the sound. Let's record it, and then we'll move to the next track so we could come up with another idea. Let's record on play. I have to turn my mic off.
Busy.
All right, so I think that came out pretty cool. So that was the first loop. So again, if you want to send in your loops to get flipped live, send them to I was wondering, is this going? Oh, this goes to the master. Send them to loops4busy@gmail.com, and then we'll pull from whoever's next. Check. Okay, cool. And let me make sure I save this thing so we don't lose it. Let's call this. What is that track? I don't know. Let's save it as Nicole Nix so we know whose loop it was. Dash Nicole Nix, and let's call this. I don't know what. Let me. Forgot what it sounds like. Nobody can. I don't know. That's what I hear in my head. I don't know nobody can. Okay, so let's save this in a folder, and let's go music. Where's the music? Busy Works beats, songs, producer community collabs. Got to keep yourself organized, folks. This is how you do it. So this is called Nobody Can, and I'll put Nicole Nix. Saved it. Okay, good. So let's move to another track. So thank you for hopping in. We're live across all the platforms that I'm on: Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. So feel free to comment. It will pop up on the little thing on the right side. And where we at? Let's start again. Check. Okay, so let's save this as loops. And I don't know who's going to be picked, so I'm just going to put 2 because I have no idea. Okay, now let's go through the email, see who sent some loops in. So 666. See what you got real quick. And then chat, you guys can vote if you think we should flip this or not. I don't have a cool way to look at the screen, so. Feels pleasant. Is this a beat or? Maybe you exported the entire track instead of the, oh no. He has sections over here, sections of a loop. A little hard to know where stuff is, but it's dope. Sunburn. There has to be a way to take this chat out of here. There has to be. Oh, it says Cutter Morris super chatted $5 Canadian. Thank you. I didn't see that. Can you please explain how to count bars for verse and hooks in double time? Yeah, sure. I didn't see that, so my bad. I'm glad I looked. What's up, Trollbots brother? So you said how to count bars in double time. Basically, here's how you do it. Wait, hold up. So how you count bars in general is just turn on your metronome for one, And just every time the metronome hits, that counts as 1 beat. Okay, so you have 4 beats per bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's technically 1 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so when you hear people talking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, they're counting the beats. It's like a heartbeat. So the bar is like a bar of gold. It takes a lot of gold to make a bar of gold. Whereas a heartbeat is just one independent impulse. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. It's just a way to count where you are when you're counting. So in double time, well, I should say halftime technically. When you're in halftime, it means that here's the main difference. Without making this a math equation, it's just wherever you put the snare. Okay, just to give you like the shortcut, straight to it version. It's wherever you put the snare is how you perceive time. So if I put the snare on the 3 count, again, every time the metronome hits, it's a 1. So it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if I go to pattern mode and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then put the clap on the 3 and the 7 count. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a typical trap rhythm. And it's based on where you put your snare. So it's perceived as slower, even though technically we're not in a slower BPM. Now, if I put my clap on the 2 and the 4, it would sound like we're actually at 148 BPM. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just like too fast. So that's how your brain perceives time. So whenever you put the snare on the 3 and the 7 count, it sounds slower. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all we're doing. We're just spreading out stuff. The reason we do that is because it's a lot easier to do glitches and different hi-hat rolls in FL Studio. So that's why we kind of adopted that. Plus, FL Studio started out at 140 BPM. So a lot of producers who didn't know what they were doing just kept it there. They didn't know what the heck was going on. So that's why you see people do that. Okay. Thank you for your super chat. I like this one. Let me start it back up. You guys film this one? It's very happy. It sounds like a Ty Dolla Sign / maybe Justin Bieber. I feel like it's already done though. We don't really have to do anything to that. This one's a little slow. Very like thought-provoking sound. These are all good. So also, if you guys want to be a part, again, I'm gonna just say this one more time. I'm gathering the troops. I'm creating a Splice competitor. So we're trying to take out Splice. So we're looking for all the soldiers who are ready to go to metaphorical war with these corporations who are just drying the producer community to death. And we're going to take them on head on. Big business talk. So if you want to be a part of that community, I'll have my assistants send you all the paperwork, all this type of stuff. It basically, the paperwork protects you as a contributor because you keep the copyright. The agreement offers credit, so anybody who uses your stuff has to credit you, and it's still your material. You can pull it back at any time. Just send us an email or whatever. And what else? That's pretty much it. It protects you. We just ask that you don't use any sample material because that's where it gets crazy. So it's a little thing in there that says, hey, I agree that this is all original material. Okay, so that's for the contributors, the people who send in their loops and want to be on that platform. The people who use the loops, it's all royalty-free stuff. So this gives the people who contribute access to hundreds of thousands of producers they would never be able to collaborate with. And that's how a lot of guys are getting placements, ironically. I just talked to Young Cutta. Young Cutta is, let's Google him real quick. He's under Murder Beats. He hopped on Clubhouse real quick. And he was like, yeah, man. I asked him to do a video. He probably forgot. It's all good. But Young Cutta, I think he's 17, something like that. And anyway, he's like, yeah, man, you taught me, almost, a lot. He's like, he studied from the stuff a lot from BusyWorks Beats. So I appreciate him putting it to work. And now he's working with, one of the top producers in the game. So that's when you apply this stuff, those are the results you can get. So imagine, and I've heard a lot of people get placements with loops too. So again, imagine getting an instant audience of hundreds of thousands of producers around the world. So here are all the benefits. If I have to give you a sales pitch, a typical sales pitch, as a contributor, a sound contributor, you get access to, hundreds of thousands of producers around the world because we're going to be building that audience. So you get instant branding. 2, you get credit on records and get your potential placement game up. 3, you get to protect your work. It's all copyright protected, so you own all your copyrights. We're not trying to buy your copyrights from you. And 4, as another benefit, you get to, I said this, well, establish your brand and build an audience. But that's pretty big. That should be 3 things in one, 3 benefits in one. Now, for the people who join the website and want to, make this a prosperous community, you guys get royalty-free stuff, which means you get to use it without the headache of having to email somebody to clear it, and then last minute they don't clear it. All the headache stuff is out the window. 2 is that you get to go through all these loops and not waste time. Like these loops, I don't know how he found the sound, but imagine this. Now it won't play. Like I probably wouldn't have come up with that melody just playing around in FL. I probably wouldn't have come up with that. So I found that loops give me a different creative edge. It's like I'm sampling a record. My brain thinks different when I sample. As you've seen in the last stream, we sampled DJ Rafe's loop and Young K's loop, and it came out hard. So I played those at the beginning of this stream. And you just heard the Nicole Nix beat. I took her loop and flipped it. So you see, when you work with loops, your brain thinks different, is my point. All right, so you guys get a bunch of benefits. We're going to have a community where we're all going to be sharing tips and information and all this type of stuff. So it's a win-win for everybody involved. And we're trying to compete against the big dogs. And potential monetization. So again, we're trying to take out Splice, which means there has to be a monetization somewhere in this equation. It's not just all going to be free. And so I want to think about it like maybe the top of the top people who contribute to this community will be able to have their own packs and releases and stuff like that. So we can all leverage one big platform and keep the economy centered around the producer community, because it's going to be owned by producers, run by producers, and created by producers, instead of owned by somebody in Silicon Valley, run by somebody in Silicon Valley, and like just using producers like they're just tools. Anyway, you could clearly tell I'm against the corporations. So let us get back to it. So yeah, we're going big or go home. I'm going to take a big swing. So I need you guys to be soldiers with me. Let's go to a metaphorical war with these companies and get back what they're draining from the community. This is dope. Oh. Where does it go from here? Oh man, that was a dope loop. I'm just curious where I would take it though. Let me run that back. Hold on. Come on, Betsy. Let's do this again. So again, if you want to send in loops, send it to loopsforbusy@gmail.com. That's how you can be a potential person to be on the platform, and et cetera, et cetera. I think this one requires a lot of singing, which the beat's kind of already done. Yeah, that one's like more of a singy track. There's some pretty dope loops. I will say, you're cross genre, you're pretty dope with this. My favorite one right now is this one. Only thing is, where would I take this? I feel like this is a Timbaland type of sound. I'd still hear Ty Dolla $ign. Let's do the R&B one. I don't know. Let's just pick the one that I said probably won't require any drums. I'm curious why YouTube doesn't show me. Does it say PUBG? Oh, never mind. I thought it said I was streaming PUBG on YouTube. I was like, this is the wrong chat. Angel says, need a lead. Oh, a lead. I could plug up my Moog, maybe. Didn't even think about that. Oh, I have a cord. Let me turn it on. All right, I forgot I had a keyboard behind me. I have all this stuff in the studio, and I'm barely here. It's ridiculous. It's depressing. I have all this stuff. I'm barely here to use it. I want to use it, but it's just not. I'm just not here enough. I need to be here more. You said, do I just make it a unique sample? My bad, I'm missing all the context. This chat is not the easiest to read. How do I make a loop? You got to watch a video on that. It's too much to explain in a 5-second thing. Too much to explain. My apologies. Not that I'm leaving you hanging. It's just a lot to explain how to make a loop would take me a good 20 minutes. What am I doing? Okay, let's drag this in. What I love about FL now is that you could just drag stuff straight into it. Let's go to song mode. Let's go to 97 BPM. So if you are going to make loops, it's very smart to label it with the BPM and label it with the key. And if you're going to label it with the key, please be accurate with the key, because some people have labeled it A minor and it's like B flat minor. Yeah, I just don't like how these companies are just milking the producer community. Tired of it. I'll tell that story a different day. I just don't want to. This guy's like 17 loops in one. Are these the separated sounds? Wait, I'm trying to figure out this one. 666 is pretty dope with his. Oh yeah, he separated them out. It's interesting. I don't remember that voice being in there, do you? That was not there before, was it? I know I'm not crazy. That was not there before. Wow, I didn't even notice that voice was there. I don't remember hearing that. Is it off one? Oh, wow. Good looks. You're my second brain. Thank you. Q&A? Yeah, we could do a little. I'll let the chat decide. Chat, do you guys want to do a Q&A real quick for like 5-10 minutes and get back to it? What do you want to do? Because I don't want to bore people to death. Because Q&A, like, it's very dry. It's not the most entertaining thing. And I realize with these live streams, you got to be a little entertaining. I found the Stream Deck app, so I'm going to be trying to use that as well. True. Yeah, loops are tricky. You gotta know how to add music to it and transition through it and do all that to it. All right, how about this? Let's vote with a number. Oh, you said the end of the stream. So give me a what's a random number? Give me a 6 if you want to do the Q&A at the end of the stream. Give me a 2. Why am I saying 6 and 2? All right, give me a yes if we should do the stream if we should do the Q&A thing at the end of the stream. Give me a no if we should do it now. That way I can know what the heck's going on. So yes means let's do the Q&A at the end. No means let's do the Q&A now. Rich Hanna, what up? It's different seeing your names without the avatars, because I just got to read names because my screen's different. So yes, what was yes? Yes was the end of the stream. Okay. Got a couple Elevations vote multiple times, putting in his fake ballot, trying to skew the data. So pretty much is yes. So okay, we'll do the Q&A at the end because I don't want to kill the energy right now. So I didn't realize that much was going on with this loop. So now we got to find like quirky sounds to go over top. Like, doo-doo-doo. I might even sing into the mic. Doo-doo-doo. It needs like, yeah, let's sing into the mic. I have the air conditioner going. I mean, the heat thing going. I wonder if you could hear it. You can't. Let's open up Waves. And let me just turn this off. This thing is just unnecessarily on. It's hot in here. What was it? What was it? D sharp minor, according to the D sharp minor bass. Whoa, that's loud. Okay. Oh wait, you know what? I gotta set the auto tune for that octave. That's not a bass octave. Can we do all octaves? So now I'm adding a vocal as an instrument. Let's record this. I'm just gonna do weird sound effects. Okay, so I was just doing random stuff. Now we're gonna run it through a reverb, and I gotta make sure I didn't record pre. We recorded post. There's maybe a little latency. Okay, so the trick here is to find a reverb that isn't super wild. So since I don't feel like finding the exact reverb, we're gonna use the Neoverb from the Isotope fam. Now this all right, here's where it gets a little tricky. So we got a solo something, solo just that vocal, and I'm gonna have the reverb assistant figure out all this crap. So I want it to be a large reverb, extra large in fact, pause. I want it to be dark, and let's hit next. Let's make it dramatic style, Gangnam style, and we gotta hit play. So I think it's figuring out something with the blurry frequencies of the reverb and making sure they don't clash with the vocal. I don't know. It's called unmasking. I mean, didn't do everything I thought it would do. So where's the mix level? I just want to mix this 100%. I think this is it. Just the mix level. Can't tell. Where's the mix? Oh, dry wet level. Here we go. So now it's only the voice going through reverb. So it gives it, it's almost like an instrument. Wait, where's the, lost the track? Oh, we muted it. Duh. Okay, so that's how you squeeze stuff in the background. A little trick for you. So now, whoa, almost blew up the house. So now I'm just gonna keep adding this vocal texture to the background. Neoverb free? I don't think it's free. Nah, I think you gotta pay up. Ooh, okay. So now let's just add more vocal stuff, and then we'll do the same technique, run it through that same chain. Posted in the group, the deadline of the thing you posted in the group. You're talking about the feedback? The feedback is every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I don't want to mix up the feedback with sending in loops. Loops are different than songs. So let's record some more vocal stuff. Just gonna wing it. Alright, sounds wild right now, but then we're gonna run it through. So this is what all the top songwriters do. I learned that they basically mumble into the microphone. So this is on track 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then play it back with the reverb. Okay, so now let's add some drums and stuff. Dang, I just came up with the idea as soon as I put my... Alright, that's what I hear in my head, so let me do it before I forget. Because I will forget. Okay, so let's stack that up. So I know I'm just skipping ahead, but this is like half songwriting, half production. So we gotta figure out where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I did this. Darn, wait. Oh, I cut it out too early. This should be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. We gotta make this unique to treat it differently. So we can pan one left, one right, and one left, one right. Let's do 50%. Doesn't have to be all the way left, all the way right. And let's do track 9. Paste value. Paste value. So this should sound like something. Let me solo these because I can't hear it. It's hard to hear the left and rightness of it, but if I turn this off. So that's the effect you get. I might leave it dry, but let's see what that sounds like with it. It might sound better dry because the reverb kind of, you can't hear it. Okay, let's turn this stuff back on. Hold up. I was like, why is this? I feel like those vocals need some type of effect, but I'll do that later. I don't feel like wasting time right now. Okay, now let's figure out what type of instruments. I'll open up Omnisphere so I don't have to turn around and go to my keyboard and like not see the screen. But it just needs like a R&B music something to it, like Rhodes or some kind of something. My bad. I don't know how to block people from this screen. How do you do this from this screen? I guess I gotta look because this doesn't give me this chat. Let me see. Maybe it does give me the chat. No, it don't give me the chat. All right, let's figure out a different way. Let's do it this way. It should do what I think it's about to do. All right, who is acting up? DeWatt, you are insane. We're gonna go ahead and block you. All right, something is clearly off in your circuitry. Whew, people, man. Nothing else to do but bother you. Ooh, I gotta find a quicker way to do that though. That's not an easy way to do that. Anyway, back to the program. Let's get it. Cool. So now we need to filter out some of the loop just so it doesn't get too like competitive with all the other stuff going on. And so what I'm doing with the bass, I just added a multi-band compressor to take care of the high end on that bass. And what else did I do? I had to fix that mod envelope thing. So this is gonna be like an atmospheric thing. You'll see it at the end. We're not there yet. Still gotta add drums, percussion. We still gotta add some kind of musicality to it. So it's about 2 stages left in vocals. If you wanna, so 3 stages left. Did I say that right? Wait, percussion, drums, yeah, vocals, and mixing. Anyway, let me keep my brain going so we don't get too caught up on the little details. Don't know what's with this sound. Something's like overlapping or something. Because it's like doubling up. I don't know why it's triggering like that. I don't know what's triggering it like that, but whatever. It must be something in the plugin. I don't have time to figure it out. Let's just send that to that reverb track. So we're on 13. What's the reverb track? This one's called reverb. So I'm just creating background ambience. Now this probably needs a bigger reverb than this. Yeah, it definitely needs more reverb than that. Whatever. We'll get to that in the mixing. So you hear the timing of the, whoa, I turn this down. You hear the timing of the bells. So they're delayed because the reverb takes time. So it offsets stuff. So if you want the reverb to line up, you got to make sure your stuff either hits a little bit early or you print the reverb and then you move it manually to the left. So reverb's built off of like a time difference. So you heard how the bell was on rhythm, dun, 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 dun. Now it's like, dun, dun, dun. It's like behind the beat. Determine if you like that difference or not. to show you a little groove secret. So I know I'm moving a little bit quicker and I can't talk because I need the speakers to be loud. So a little groove secret is I started with percussion and I didn't put it on the 1, 2, 3, 4. I did a boom, boom. Okay, so that little sound is going to sidechain our main melody or instrument track. So I have to figure out if I want to group all this stuff into one or if I just want to. I probably will. Yeah, I have to. This is going to be a little complicated. Let me think first. The reverb has to go into the. Yeah, let's just create another track called this instruments. Route this reverb directly to the instruments track. Got to make sure this is the right track. It's hard to see. And then we need to route the melody to the instruments track too. And that should do what it's supposed to do. So you could also route the bass, but we're not going to do that just yet. Anyway, go to the instruments track, pull up C6 sidechain stereo. And we need to find the thing that triggers that. So I think it was called, I think it's this one. Hold on. Yeah, Dakar Perk 1, a Dakar Perk 1. Grab it, grab your instruments track, right click, sidechain to that track. So now you go back to your instruments track, go to your settings, go to processing, turn it on, input chain, right click, select your thing, the Rock Perk 1, go back, and then this has, so you have to determine the frequency where you want it to duck. So let's just do the middle, switch it to external. So now every time the rock hits, it's gonna duck the volume and it creates a groove. So I can't hear it, so I have to turn my speakers back up and my mic down. see how the track can live without the melody even being in the background. You probably didn't even realize we took out the melody. And that's why you got to do all that extra work. Just running it through analog to see what it sounds like. Nicole Nix, where's she at? I don't know. She's at home making beats. I have no idea. Shout out Nicole Nix. We flipped her loop earlier, so shout out to the beautiful Nicole Nix. Let me pull up her website. Got me thinking about her website, NicoleNix.com. Get some vocal tags. Get 16 of them. You need one for each style of track that you're making. One for each vibe, I should say. Instagram, here it is. It's already on the Instagram. I gotta log in, never mind. But yes, go follow her on Instagram. It's producer_Nicole Nix. Did I have auto-tune on? Wow, I had auto-tune on that whole time. Yeah, it's producer_Nicole Nix. I can't type it because I don't have the chat thing. I don't know how this chat works. But yeah, Nicole Nix is dope. So I'm trying to hear what it sounds like with the analog real quick, and then I'll go back to the kick drum. Only thing that sounds weird in the headphones is this triangle. So yeah, I might switch it back to a sawtooth. And I want it to be in the background, so I might throw it through the 9 reverb, or I might just send it to the aux. Hold up. Can't even hear it. It's a little, you can barely tell it's there. That's how you get all that stuff to blend. It needs a kick, so this is what I'm going to do to wrap it up. The bass could be a little bit different. I just don't want to spend too much time on it. So you see how nuanced, this is the fun part about percussion. You could just keep layering it. So I'm going to send it goes, I'm going to send the one to the reverb. What's up, Scoop? So most people will tell you to sidechain on the kick. So every time the kick hits, it'll dip the volume. But I sidechained on that, boom. I sidechained that. So that's what creates the groove. The kick is just there to be an impact. It's not creating the groove. So let's just run it through this analog real quick. I might add a vocal to it just to spice it up a little bit. And then we'll flip another loop. So this one was from, and 666. Oh, we're not even on the loop part, but 666 sent this in. Oh, let's save this as 666. 666. Okay, 666. 666 elephant. Nah, it's not called an elephant. It's called 666. Boom. I forgot the bass. Okay. I hear bass thing. Boom, dum dum. So hopefully I do it the way I want to do it in my head. I don't think I have the right bass though. It needs to be like a won't, 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 won't. I'm trying to think what bass would that be. It's definitely not this one. I need like a triangle type bass. I might find it. Let's say I will find it. It's in here somewhere. I know I saved it. Should be like a triangle-y type bass. This might work, but it's not the same. Definitely not this one. Sounds cool, but it's not what I'm looking for. What about that, the West Coast bass? Kind of like that West Coast bass. Just gonna throw it in here. Dom, boom, boom, da da dum. Let's try it. Whatever. Make it work. Combine Afro with West Coast with whatever the heck. Atmospheric R&B. Let's call this alt. Wasn't my. What you mean the sounds? The sounds muted? What you mean? What do you mean the sounds? I don't know if you mean troubleshooting or if you're talking about the production. Probably the production. Anyway, 1, 2, 3. Wrong note at the end. I guess anyway, did I hit any slur notes? Yeah, I did here. Okay, I know I'm speaking like a whole different language right now. I'm trying to figure out what to quantize. I missed one note. Let's hit that. Are you talking about the actual audio? I'm gonna put this in the instruments bus so it can get sidechained. Oh, it looks like this got thrown off somehow. That's what's causing this weird thing. Okay, so sometimes when you reroute in FL, sidechain stuff messes up. Here I want maybe like a vocal stack breakdown, and then we'll oh, I thought one of my monitors turned off. Yeah, so let's think of like vocal stuff we could add here. Are we in the same key? Yeah, I guess so. What can we do to vocal stack? So that's how you step outside the box. I know you're tired of trap tutorials. That's why I said I came here to not play games. Came here to show you all the keys, how to step outside the box. We went from West Coast beats to whatever the heck this genre is. R&B alternative, I guess. And I'm just showing y'all. I know you're tired of the kids showing you the latest trap 808. I know you're tired of it. So I'm showing you other stuff. This is on Twitch, this is on Facebook, this is on YouTube. I need you to subscribe wherever you are, because we'll be going live a lot more wherever you are. Now let's do some vocal stacks. I'm still debating what I want to do vocally on this. And I don't know what to do here. I want to do a harmony, so that's for sure happening. Just gotta think of something cool to say, like. something like, I don't know. Let's just make it up. Let's do loop recording. I just slow it down. There we go. Loop recording. Why do I sound like I'm out of key? Can I not just not sing? Let's not do the vocal stack because forget it. It's going to take up 16 tracks. And we're going to have to do all this mixing just to get it to sound decent. Forget it. It takes too long. We are running through analog. Let's run this through the analog again. All right. So I don't know if you want to call it Afro something, but Afro alternative. Let's save this as that was a fun track. The vocals would just be a standalone track. I don't think really vocals would go over that. And let's put this in a new folder. Call this 666. Here's a lot of good loops. Probably end up doing something cool with you. 666. Let's call this like a love you or something. Cool. Let's play what we made so far. So we made this with Nicole Nix, and then let me just play all the ones that we did to your loops just to hear them all together. So this is from, yeah, these are all right. In no specific order. This is from the other live stream, and then we'll start a new project. What time is it? It's 1 a.m.? No, it's not.
Busy.
It's from Nicole Nix. The Loop. Can't believe I was here. Let me see what time I got here. I got here at 10:30, so what's that? 10:30. Here for 3 hours. Wow. Time literally flew. It does not feel like 3 hours. What's up, J-Myth? My bad. It's hard to see avatars. Appreciate you, J-Myth. This is with 666's loop. It's a little loud in my headphones. Let me turn this down. Yeah, Nicole Nix got loops. I had the most fun with this one. Like once you understand to compress the high end on the bass, it's so much easier to use that bass. All those little percussion stacks. Shout out to Ramon with the drum kit called Fire Gang drum kit. Ramon. We know the ending. Actually, I'll let it ride. So next up, let's see who's in the email. So the loop, it's a loops for busy@gmail.com. We're trying to take out Splice. I'm building a new platform. So I need some soldiers. And if you want to be enrolled in the producer army, this is your chance. Our chance to strike back. From a loop with Young K. Okay, let's see what else we got. Let's do Hyperpop. Wait, let me mark your emails too, so I don't forget. I have a whole system here. Let's follow the system, YK. And let's add these to the... And I think DJ Wraith, let me know. I gotta do some organization here real quick. All right, back to the program. So I'm not tired, so I think I got one more production in me. I almost said one more beat. That would have sounded super weird. This has a vibe to it. This has a, it makes me feel like I'm in the forest in a good way. Dun, dun, dun. I feel like I'm in an enchanted forest. Let's see what the Twitch squad's doing. We needed to I want to do something on Twitch. So if you have a Twitch account, you should follow me at BusyWorks Beats. I think we're gonna do something unique. See all you Twitch folks. This sounds nuts. You guys got some pretty dope loops. This has a nice compression on it. Very smooth sounding. Trying to think, what could I flip this into? It's like a Miguel. This is a Miguel track. That's really dope. Darn, your stuff is fire. Oh, we could do some trap. I just gotta see how it switches up. This is so easy to flip. Like, all you need is drums, and this is fire. So all your little favorite producers that you think are so dope, you need to credit the loop people, because the loops are what make the daggone freaking beat. Not the freaking trap drums that we could all do, like the 808 that we could all do. Need to credit their loop contributors. So y'all don't know the loops behind the scenes. The loop makers are the real ones putting in the work. So these are all fire. I'm just going to choose the last one. And that's why we got to build our own platform, because I'm tired of people getting, it's just a mess. I don't want to sound super negative, but there's a lot of crap. A lot of crap going on. What is this? DBVS or DVBS, like dabs? DVBS. You guys got some dope loops. We're gonna make some of y'all superstars. DVBS. super easy. Excuse me. So it's a little off, so you got to be careful. Is this MP3? Keep in mind with MP3, it adds a little silence at the beginning of a track. So just always remember that when you're sending off MP3s. It's fine because it sounds clean, but just keep that in mind. So if your stuff sounds offbeat, that's why. It even has a little vocal in there. It's a little off because I don't. Okay. It's one thing about MP3s. Zoom in a little bit more. Must be a little. You see that little tiny hair of silence right there that can make or break a whole loop. I don't know. Now it sounds offbeat. So instead of looking at the daggone silence, let's just drag the transients to match up. Oh, I'm at 143. I'm an idiot. That's why it sounds offbeat. I'm sitting here blaming him. Hold on, okay. Slip tool might be easier so we don't have to chop the beginning. There we go. This really, it just needs an 808 and drums. It like literally does not need anything. So all your favorite trap producers, you really need to credit their loop makers. So I know the 808's out of key. I did it on purpose. I feel like that's it. The beat's kind of done. That's trap beats in a nutshell. Drums and a loop maker. I feel like that was too easy to make, and I don't know what else to add to this except maybe like a bouncy little rim sample. I mean, this beat doesn't need anything. So if you notice, I just shifted the hi-hat rolls to start on the downbeat. That's the main shift. I'm gonna move the 808s over just like I did with the hi-hats. Just wanna see what it sounds like. All right, so the next thing is really just add like a it's called Oscar bass, or like that Reese bass that you hear in Drake songs. So it's minimalistic, but it's a lot of little tiny little steps in here. May need transitions. I don't think we do. Debating if I want to distort the whole track or not. If I distort it, it's going to go through the analog different. So we have a lot of different styles. Let me pull up the, so here's what you could do if you want to go Playboy Carti style. Kind of overly saturate the track. Boom. I don't know if I like the distortion on it, but that's just another style. That one was kind of easy, but I don't want to be here till too late. So let's record that, and then we'll play all the ones we made today, and we'll be up out of here. Let's record on play. Mute my mic. I forgot I'm supposed to sit like ear level with the tweeters, the high pitch frequencies. I forgot. So when I sit up a little bit, you hear the highs a little bit different. So I need to angle these speakers down. So I forgot about that. Anyhow, so I didn't A/B test. That we're just using one pair of speakers here. Let's call this. Who made this one? Dabs. DBS. Dabs. And let's save this to the, where's it at? Music. Collabs with Dabs. VBS. Let's call this, what? Let's call it Uh-Oh. All right, so thanks for rocking with me. We've been here for what, 4 hours almost? But I should probably get home. It's a little late because the drive home takes forever. So let's play the tracks we made today. And then we will be up out of here. So this is DJ Wraiths. I gotta turn off my mic. I did promise a Q&A, so I'll do the Q&A in like 5 seconds after we play these. Forgot to shout out the last track. The last track was Dabs. This is Nicole Nix's loop. is from 666. That's my favorite one so far.
Young K on the track. Busy.
This is from Young K. Cool. Now let's do this Q&A, and we'll do what we got to do. I got to do it quick because I need to mark this spot as the playback spot. So Sinister says, how do you increase the volume of a beat if you don't have the project anymore, just the MP3? If you don't have the project, how do you increase the volume? I'm assuming it's already at like 0 dB, so that's why you're asking this question. So you could use something like a limiter. That's very vague. If you don't know what a limiter is, you could use like Isotopes limiter, because I'm assuming it's already like at the top level. So you really can't do anything that's already maxed out at 0 dB. But what you could do is create perceived loudness with what's called a limiter. And I'm trying to find it. So something like, even if you get Ozone 9, it could, let me show you a couple things. There's so much to explain. So check. Okay, Ozone 9 has this thing called a master assistant. You just click this button and tell it what you want to do, and it will fix the track for you, basically. Then you have something called a maximizer by Ozone, which can make stuff louder. Like, I'll demonstrate this on my voice, just so you get, oh wait, it's not even going there. Let's route this here. Check. Okay, so on my voice, as I pull this down, I get louder, even though I'm not speaking louder. It's perceived loudness. And this is how you can make a beat sound louder without it like actually being louder. In dB. So that's that. There's a lot to that, but look for the Ozone stuff, because you could get that mastering assistant and it could do a lot of the work for you. What else is here? How do we join the foundation to submit our drum kits and loops? You could first email me loopsforbusy. Here, let me pull it up. It's loopsforbusy@gmail.com. I don't know how to pull up the email. I guess, sorry, putting his email on blast, but it's loopsforbusy@gmail.com. And then once you send it here, I'm going to curate all the loops to make sure they sound good. And then we're going to send you back a terms and conditions form. You have to sign off on it, put your signature on it or whatever. We could do it via DocuSign. I have a whole system. My assistants help with this. Long story short, it protects the people who contribute their sounds, because we're not asking for any copyrights. You still own all your copyrights. And as a sound contributor, you get instant network to thousands, tens of thousands of producers around the world who want to use your loops to get into records. So the placement opportunities increase, the brand awareness increases instantly. And so there's a lot of benefit for contributors as well. And in the contract, it asks for credit, that you get credit on records. So if somebody were to place it, they have to give you credit. So as a sound user, as somebody who grabs a loop from the website or a drum kit or whatever, you have access to royalty-free sounds. And this way, there's no headache trying to clear it. I know a lot of people ask for points and clearing and all this type of stuff, but I've heard placements literally 5 minutes before the placement. The producer who created the loop wouldn't agree on terms, and then they couldn't even drop the song just because the producer was being a hard head. So that's what we're trying to prevent, is people being stubborn. Okay, so that's why we did the royalty-free thing, just to keep it easy and clean all the way through. We will have paid packs, so not everything's going to be super free. Paid packs will be available and all this type of stuff. Anyway, just email loops4busy@gmail.com. That's the way to get in. And then we'll send you all the proper documentation and blah, blah, blah. But it protects everybody. It protects the users. It protects the contributors. It protects the platform. So all we ask is that you don't use sampled material, so that people don't know that they're using sampled stuff. So I'll keep an ear out for all that type of stuff. But it's in the terms, never, so that it says clearly, hey, I own all the stuff that I'm submitting to you. Okay. So that's super simple. So, yep, that's the terms in a nutshell. Okay, so what else? Gotta get used to this chat. Do you produce on speakers or headphones? In the studio, I produce on speakers because it gives you a depth that you can't get with headphones. Like, there's distance between my speakers and my seat, and I could hear all the reverb off the walls. You can't hear that with headphones. I know a lot of these companies are making these softwares that claim to do that, but it's not the same. Missed a lot of context. What's up, Angel? Santiago. Perceived loudness. Yep. I got to drop off. Oh. I thought you were going to say drop off like something else. How do you get your beats songs to sound really loud while in FL? Because for me, I have to use Ozone after mixing. My mixes are always sounding too low. Well, songs are different than beats. You don't want to master your beats, because then the person who wants to perform over the beat won't have any room. Loudness is a whole thing. So I'll just give you a couple pillars. Loudness is panning. If you hear certain stuff on the left and right, it could sound louder even though it's not louder. So simply panning stuff out can make it seem louder. You want to look at soft clipping, because I'll just give you a quick example. Let's pull up a random kick. Not a random kick, a friendly kick. Where is it at? I can't see. Yes, I can see. I'm going to take the word can't out of my whole script here. Okay, so this kick right here, it sounds, I didn't know this for the longest time. So if you go to, it hits good, but it just hits how it hits. But what happens if we had a Fruity Soft Clipper? Turn the threshold up. You could turn it to the left too, but I just turn it to the right for a different sound. And what happens if I go to the kick now and just go to the pre-computed effects, for example, and boost the volume? So I'm basically intentionally, I'll say, clipping the sound. I have to turn off my my mic for a second. Okay, so you see how the kick hits a lot harder, but the cool thing is I can have it hit hard without clipping. That's what the soft clipper does. You could pull down the fader, so you still get that punchy sound, but it's not clipping into the red. So loudness is also about doing that a bunch of times and trying to do what's called leveling, okay, and do different iterations of gain staging. So that's a long science. Also look up the Fletcher-Munson curve. Fletcher-Munson curve, it looks like this. Fletcher-Munson curve. Because our ear is sensitive to certain frequencies and not others. So this chart tells you the frequencies that it's more sensitive to. So it's somewhere, this isn't very accurate because it doesn't give you the exact numbers. You want to look for one that gives you a more precise, something like this. So around 5K to 2K, our ear hears sound a lot louder. So this is what this little low line means. It means you don't even need that much dB to trigger your ear to hear it. Whereas low frequencies, we can barely hear this stuff. So we have to crank all that stuff up. Or instead of cranking it, you could look into harmonics through saturation and different excitement and create upper harmonics so that the bass goes from just 30 hertz all the way up to like 1,000 hertz. And that's through saturation. So loudness is all those things combined. It's not just one thing. So that's how you get your bass to translate, is when you add those harmonics. So loudness is a whole thing. If you want to learn more, like on a more strategic level, you could just go to busyworksbeats.com/premium. We've trained over 700,000 producers around the world. I just talked to Young Cutta, who's up under Murder Beats. He's like, man, I used to watch all your stuff. And now he's up under one of the best producers in the world right now because he applied the knowledge. I've had people work with Drake, Young Thug, Ariana Grande, Post Malone, YG. I'm probably missing a bunch of folks. NBA Youngboy, if I didn't already say that. Anybody on the Billboard, probably, except for country folks. I probably trained the producer on some level. Okay, so you just got to apply this stuff. So go to busyworksbeats.com/premium. So that's the Fletcher Munson curve. I'll do one more question because my throat is getting a little raspy. How do you get your beats? Okay. What is your opinion on trap metal, heavy bass? I like this song. I don't know if this is trap metal, but Exhale is like known for being on our live streams every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And I wouldn't call this trap though. So that's the only thing. Actually, I can't play his track because it'll trigger the whole monetization thing. So forget it. But anyway, type in Host by Exhale. And it's a cool sound. I like it. Trap metal, heavy bass beats. I don't know. The bass has to be a certain way for me to really enjoy it. I can't really enjoy like a guitar bass, like it just has a different bounce to it. It's the bounce for me. You know, it's not the tone of the guitar. I like the tone of a distorted bass guitar, and those wide guitars. But when it comes to like rhythms and bounciness, sometimes it just doesn't fit that category. For me, I don't know. I need to hear more of it. Maybe I just don't have a good reference for it either. Trap metal, heavy bass beats. All right, so we're going to wrap this out. Thank you all for being patient enough to listen to me and watch these things for the first rendition of Producer Cookup via multi-platform streaming. So if you're on Twitch, I need you to subscribe to Twitch. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to YouTube. If you're on Facebook, like the page or whatever they call it. And we're going to try and do more stuff on Twitch because I have to try and become a partner on Twitch. So it requires all this attention on Twitch. So we got to do something cool on Twitch. So I'll probably do like a beat battle, something like this. Something more creative than your typical beat battle. We'll do a lot of cool stuff. Just let me know somewhere in the world. I'll probably see it somewhere. Thank you. And let's see.